With the 50 Yami in the back, me and Dano in the front. We're cruising down the Muskie in the hot, hot sun. I have a six-pack. He has a blunt. Suddenly, out of nowhere, police boat appears. We are both stunned. OPP boat comes out, looks for more. Dan opens up a ginger ale. I hit the floor. The officer says, "Hold up your beer." So I wrote that little song.
I love it. Totally didn't expect
And
that.
you shouldn't be, I don't advocate fishing and drinking, but, shit happens.
Says who, man?
By the way, sometimes
way.
the best beer batters are the best for fish.
Oh, absolutely.
So that was Leo doing our intro today, man. Leo Ing? Leo Ing?
Ing, I-N-G direct.
No,
right to your driveway.
No. It's Leo Ing from Ing Asphalt?
Ing's Asphalt.
Ing Services Asphalt?
Ing's Asphalt Services.
So what are we going to talk about today?
Asphalt.
A little bit of asphalt.
Let's get down and
I've
dirty.
been waiting to get dirty. Down.
Listen, I actually like that word a lot.
Really?
I think asphalt's a really amazing word.
Wait a minute.
You said asphalt.
Asphalt. Asphalt. I didn't say asphalt.
That's correct me if I'm wrong, but the correct pronunciation is asphalt. But asphalt.
Is that what you guys talk about all the time?
We can talk a little bit about that on the side.
All right, so we're going to talk everything to do with asphalt and asphalt. So all kinds of stuff. But first, Carlito.
Oh, this would be history with Manny.
So, Leo, we got a little segment here. I need to ask you, Leo, and Carlito might know the answer to this. I'm not exactly sure.
At least we're here.
Here's the question. Is asphalt man-made?
Yes.
Well, I mean, of course, it's tar
But
and oil.
Here's the real question.
It's mixed together.
Where did asphalt come from and how far back?
Well, it's an oil product.
So you're right. It is man-made, but how far back? And I was a little surprised to find this information out because these guys, this group of people from the past have done a lot, and I'm kind of pissed off that they've done so much.
Well, I know that tar was around burning people from castles,
Wow.
so I'm assuming they might have started
You got to go
back
further
then.
back. So the word asphalt comes from the Greek word asphaltos. The Romans adopted the word, and they used the substance to seal their baths and their reservoirs and the aqueducts.
Wow, I thought it was
Many
for sure
centuries later,
cannonballs.
Europeans exploring the New World discovered natural deposits of asphalt. So when was the first asphalt road built?
Wow.
What century, what date, what year?
It had to be the 1800s.
Asphalt was first used on a road for a building in Babylon around 625 BC.
You're kidding me.
BC.
The Romans took up the system and they built roads for far easier travel by the military. That's what they used it for. But it wasn't until 1870 that a Belgian chemist, Edmond J. Desmet, laid the first asphalt pavement in the U.S. in Newark, New Jersey. Go figure the irony on that, because Jersey and New York does not have the smoothest asphalt in the entire world. So it's just funny. That's the origin of it, man. So we all know that asphalt is asphalt and bitumen.
Bitumen, yes.
Bitumen, okay. Is there a difference?
Yes. I believe so.
There's a difference because you kind of need both of them for them to both work.
So is one a binding agent?
Exactly. That's the reason behind it.
Okay.
So that's...
History with Manny.
I found that a little fascinating. I didn't
That was
know about
amazing.
That stuff.
I never knew that.
So we're talking with Leo Ing from www.ingservices.net, and you can reach out to him if you need any asphalt. What do you do exactly?
The mainstay of what I do is seal and repair driveways.
Sales at ingservices.net, and also the phone number is 416-892-4526.
Anything, ring Ing.
I love it.
So I wanna also talk about another little segment that I want to throw at Carlito, and I want to throw at yourself too, because I'm sure that you probably have come across this as well. And I'm calling this.
Wait a second. Are we doing it now?
Yeah. You want to wait?
Is this okay? No.
You want to wait?
No, totally.
I want to just introduce it right now.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm calling this segment "A Construction Bone to Pick With." So my problem, and unfortunately, I've been known on this podcast to pick on the millennials. I don't know, Leo. You're my age, right? We're all the same age here. So I don't know how you feel about the millennials.
Not very happy about them.
So my bone to pick with is a conversation that I've had with you, Carlito. We were texting about this last night. We were texting about it this morning. And my problem is that they come in and I joke how whatever their age is, they always ask for a couple of dollars higher than their age. And I feel they're not worth it. I recently, because I've been working with Matthew from E6 Analytics, who does a lot of data stuff for me on my business, he analyzes my jobs. He figures out how much money I made, how much money I lost, where the money went to the penny. And I recently just received a report on a job that I completed, and I looked at the numbers regarding the labor, and I was like, this is bullshit. Because you got millennials asking you for a certain wage, and then you agree to it, but then they don't perform the work in return.
Okay, well,
that's my bone to pick
You and
with.
me had this conversation, and I told you the fix to it is you don't pay them hourly. You pay them a unit price for the job.
Everybody wants it
in
hourly.
that unit price, they can do their own research on the price. They carry their own material, so they're not wasting the material. They clean up their own job site, so they're responsible for that. What that does is it creates habits, and it also creates awareness to what it actually takes to run a business, not just be a laborer.
Here's the thing, Leo, what do you think a 25-year-old guy just getting started in construction, what should he be paid?
Start them off, maybe $20 an hour, and move them up. If
We're all the mindset. We're all
Yeah.
the same mindset. That's exactly it. But all these 25-year-olds all want to get paid 25 plus, 30 plus. The thing is, I have no problem paying that if you deliver that.
Yep.
If you start dragging your feet, if you start taking longer breaks, if you show up a little bit late and you're not creating production on the construction site, then I have a problem with that. They seem to forget the bigger picture. If you're given an opportunity and the GC actually says, sure, I will pay you 30, I will pay you 40, I will pay you 50. But then all of a sudden you don't perform for that money because you're running a business. My problem is that the moment you ask them, put yourself in my shoes now. You're the owner of the business now. You looked at the numbers. This is what's fascinating.
But they don't care.
With Matthew, he's showing me the data. So he's actually showing me how much my company made on this job and where all the expenses went. And I'm looking at it going, that one line item of the labor that I hired and the work that performed does not jive. So I got to go back and I tell them, either you guys increase your production or you decrease your wage.
And I agree.
They'll never decrease the wage, and they'll never increase their production.
Okay, so you know what to
they're
do.
gone.
Yeah.
They're gone, and then you bring somebody else on. And I've had other people come on, and all of a sudden they ask for less, and they produce more. And this is the problem that I have. This is my bone. That's all I'm just saying. So I'm just letting everybody know that you basically get one shot with me. That's all it is. You might get a second or third time to be on there, try to prove yourself. But the thing is, don't think for a second, I'm not paying attention. And now that I've got data, because they'll turn around and go, no, I produced. I did deliver the work. I did as much as I want. It took a little bit longer. It was hotter. It was like harder to get up there. I couldn't climb this. I couldn't climb, or whatever. It's just all excuses and shit like
But
that.
you know what they call that in Croatia, right?
What's that?
An excuse.
Exactly. So that you can have all those excuses, but when you get to our position where you're a business owner now and you leave guys on the site and then all of a sudden you come back and in your mind you already know how much work should have been done and you get back and that work's not done, then you know that you did not do what you said you were going to do.
There's something really important. Like if we're going to talk about this, let's take another second and put it into this conversation. Most of these guys, they're saying, I want $30 an hour, and they don't care how much time we put in quoting, landing the jobs, building the reputation, paying the insurance, paying the fuel, paying for the tools, getting the materials. All they care about is coming to site and getting paid from 7 to 5,
Yep.
or 7 to 4, whatever it may be on your job sites, and that's all they care about. I don't think that's the right attitude. I think that if you
100%.
want to get paid a good salary, you have to keep proving yourself. You shouldn't ask for what you're worth. You should prove what you're worth.
I agree with you.
So-
Leo, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, personally, I've had some problems, hiring staff in the past. It's always been an issue as a contractor, this and that. But one thing I've always said is, listen, I tell a new guy, listen, I'll pay you whatever you're worth. I'll pay your weight in gold. Doesn't matter to me, because if you're producing, you're helping me make money. That's the end game, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm making money, I don't mind paying the guy $30, whatever. It's easy. It's a
But your
no-brainer.
business needs to be making money.
That's right, obviously. But if the guy's only worth $15 an hour, that's all he should get. I mean, I ask him, I say, you want to be the $15 an hour guy, or you want to be the 25 plus hour guy? You tell me. Let me see it. I can't hold your hand out here. You know, I'm only as good as, you know, my staff too, my employees. So if we get good guys, we'll pay them well.
We're all business owners here.
Yeah.
And I get frustrated with them where they keep on wanting to get our position, but they don't understand what we're being put in. They don't.
Can I ask you? I usually typically, if I have someone working hourly for me, I want to make $5 or $10 off them. It sounds like I'm making 5 or 10, but at the end of the project, there's always been a piece of material they've cut wrong, something always left out, a hidden callback that they never hear about, that only I hear about. Hearing me say I'm making $5 or $10 sounds fantastic. Oh my God, he's making 5 or 10. But at the end of the project, am I actually making money?
Well, not really.
And the thing is if I'm not making 5 or 10 to cover the callbacks or the loss of material or the forgettings or, you know, not work, you know, the heat or whatever else slows a person down on a project, who's going to pay for that?
All I'm saying is that all you guys out there, you're working for somebody and you are asked the question, what do you want to get paid and what your worth is? You better seriously think about that and you better seriously follow through with it. If you don't, you will not last. And I guarantee you, you will not get a second chance.
Have you ever taken on someone without hourly and say, if you finish that driveway, it pays 35, I'll give you 25 and 1,000 will cover my WSIB and all the other things I need. Do you ever do projects like that with people?
No, I've mostly gone just with hourly guys. But, you know, you give them bonus incentives too. I mean, if we get the jobs done quicker, they're going to get a bonus. They know that. So if, let's say we're doing, you know, 12 jobs a day and we normally would do 10, we push a little harder. Well, that guy deserves a little extra too. And
That's how it works.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't want to. That was a whole. I got to figure out.
That was a serious bone, buddy.
Construction bone to pick with. There's going to be more about this, and I actually want other guests. I want guests to come on board. I want Carlito. I want you to come up with there's lots of bones to pick with, man. Construction bones to pick with.
Listen, you just bring the bones, and I'll pick them. I don't know if that sounded good.
Not that kind of podcast. Let's get back to Leo. So Leo, asphalt. Asphalt. Where did it all begin, man?
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, it started with my dad. He was in the business probably closer to 30 years ago. Unfortunately, passed 20 years ago at this point. I got involved with the business in 99 when he got sick, unfortunately with cancer, and he passed away a year later. And, you know, back in then days, I was about close to 30, and I've done numerous different things. I worked as a laborer in construction. I worked as a framer. I got into this through my dad's sickness, obviously, but I never thought it would turn into something, you know, 20 plus years later as a full-time career.
You've grown it into a brand.
And I've grown it into a huge brand, and now it's one of the greatest things that ever happened to me. Not that my dad got sick and passed, but obviously he left me with a nice little business, and I made a career out of it.
How many guys you got working for you?
Right now, I just have 2 guys.
2 guys.
Yeah, me and 2 guys, and we just, you know, we go seal between, 6-10 driveways a day. And
Holy cow.
It's been a nice hot summer for you.
it's been tough. I mean, usually when it gets above, 35 degrees, you want to call it off. But in this business, you got to make hay while the sun shines, as they say. So, I almost pray for a rainy day so I can get a day off.
A day off, I know.
Yeah.
Same with the roofers, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you got quite the tan, right? And I know that you're Chinese background.
Yeah.
You told me recently that you found out some other piece of information about your ancestry.
Yeah. About 6 years ago, we found out that we're part native as well. When I go up north, I go up north fishing a lot, like I talked about earlier. So a lot of people think that I'm Anishinaabe, as they say, or Nish. Nish.
Okay, that's what you're known as?
Well, I call myself the crazy Chindian. Chinese
love
Indian.
it.
Nobody's ever
Chindian.
seen one.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to get a tattoo across your
I
arm.
know I should.
That's
Yeah,
a
you know
wicked
what? It's
saying.
weird. Yeah.
Okay, so what's all the asphalt sealing business? What's it all about? What do we got to know about this?
So, basically, what I do is unlike what most other people in the business do. And what most other people in the business do is they spray the driveways. To me, spray is passé. It's sort of like a bad word.
It doesn't do a good job?
No, and I'm not here to say that guy's a bad guy or I'm better, but I'm just here to educate people on the differences, and I just let my customers decide. So I tell them, listen, they ask me, what do you do? Leo, what do you do? What's the difference? I go, well, do you know the difference between hot dogs and steak?
Yeah.
Of course.
That's a huge
Hot dogs are
difference.
good, but I mean, don't get me wrong, but steak's a lot better. So I give you filet mignon. You have to break it down to them. So I said, do you know the difference between driving, like a Fiat or a Mercedes? Mm-hmm. Of course you do. Yeah, there is a difference, right? And not all sealers are the same. So the difference is this. So basically what people get mostly done on the driveway is sprayed. Spray is a cutback sealer. They cut it with either diesel or
They
Varsol.
thin it.
They thin it to get it through their lines, and that's why it's shiny and smells like Varsol or diesel, whatever.
It
stinks.
looks new.
Shiny. That is not natural. Driveways are, when they're first paved, they're
supposed to be
matte
matte.
finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice and jet black, right? With the shiny stuff, it's, you have, people with $1 million plus properties and they're putting this crap on it and it doesn't look too good. And, I do a lot of work for real estate agents, and you want to give the house a nice curb appeal, get top dollar, especially in a competitive market that we're in now. So they call me. And what I do is I brush it on by hand. It goes on nice and thick. It's like a tar. Yeah,
The whole drive you do.
The
but
whole driveway. I'm like the Picasso of the driveway. I'm a bit of an artisan. So my brush is about, 40 inches wide, and we lay it on nice and thick, and we go over the same spot about 4 or 5 times as we, apply
Different
it.
directions?
Yeah, you go back and forth mostly. You start at the top and you come down to the bottom of the driveway. And before we start, we do a thorough cleaning job, of course. We'll clean off any dirt, debris, scrub the weeds, this and that. And, if you have cracks and stuff like that, we can fix those too. But if the driveway's, the way I say it is, the driveway's in decent shape, I can make it look really good. There's only so much you can do. And I'm honest, listen, if your driveway needs to be paved, it needs to be paved. You can't replace getting your driveway paved by sealing it.
No.
That's to enhance the appearance and to protect it. But let's be honest out there, you can't seal like a gravel pit.
Yeah.
And some people think you can. I mean, the average asphalt driveway these days lasts you between, maybe 10, 15 years, paved job. Depends on what you drive on it, how much traffic there is, what you park on it, what you use it for, what leaks on it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But if you seal it, you get, another 5+ years. So, you can increase the longevity by 30 to 50% for fun.
So all these guys that are spraying, they're just doing Band-Aids?
I don't know if it's really a Band-Aid. I mean, the difference is this. My sealer lasts you 2 to 3 years. Their sealer lasts you maybe 6 months, year tops. So it's all gone. The other thing about it, because it's cut with
Really?
diesel.
It's true.
Yeah.
Wow.
Every year, I know people that do it themselves, and it only lasts a season.
That's right.
So that product that you go to the big box store and you grab and you brush it on or roll it on,
Right.
that won't last more than 6 months.
It looks similar. I mean, we take it out of a bucket as well. But I mean, my truck has a 1,000-liter tote. So we're going around with a lot of sealers. So we're putting actual material and we're giving people what they need. Like, average driveway, 800 square feet, 4-car, double wide, whatever, cookie cutter driveways, as we call them. That's going to take 3 to 4 pails to seal it properly, like 20-gallon pails. The average homeowner goes to Home Depot or whatever, Canadian Tire, and buys some stuff that they think's good. But they only buy maybe 1, maybe 2 pails. They don't put enough on. They stop halfway. They go have lunch, have a beer, whatever. And then
true.
it's not drying correctly. Now, the correct way to do it is to apply it all at the same time. When you're finished, it dries out as such. So it's nice, streak-free, looks natural, like the driveway when it was originally paved, and it lasts. The other problem with the homeowner is that, you're using a roller. The thing's only 4 inches wide. Your driveway's 800 square feet. You're going to be there for 4 or 5 hours. You're going to kill yourself.
So they're not using the right tools.
You're not
It's
using
just
the right
one more
tools.
product that's
It's like
at a
a
big
wrench
box
as a hammer.
Yeah, it doesn't belong in here.
Well, I did want to talk about you saying spray. So, like, I spray paint,
Right.
and a lot of times I'll tell the customer, they'll say, "Oh, you're going to spray the house," and I say, "Well, my guy's going to spray ahead of me, and I'm going to roll behind them." And they say,
Okay.
"Why are you rolling?" And I find that, like you said, by brushing it on, you're actually pushing it
Yeah.
and adhering and
Correct.
anchoring it into the surface or the substrate that you're putting
Yeah.
it on. And it's just like paint. If you just spray over top, it's just going to glaze over top, and you can get lots of product, but it doesn't mean it adhered.
That's right.
So what product are we talking about that you go to, that you use all the time?
So basically, what we use, we call it like I call it my super sealer. It's a ancient Chinese formula, of course, from my dad's. But I can't tell you exactly what's in it, but pretty much what we tell the customers is it's a rubberized sealer. Goes on thick like a tar. It looks brown when it sort of starts, and then it dries within half an hour to an hour to a matte finish.
So that matte is
Black.
key. That's key, that it's matte, right?
Yeah.
And the shiny guys are...
And the other thing with those shiny driveways is they're slippery when they get wet or snow.
They
So
are. Very.
I always worry about the elderly people that are going to, fall and break a hip and seriously hurt themselves. And the other thing I've heard negative things about the spray jobs is people, the kids are playing basketball on the driveway and they're getting it all over their hands on the ball, or they're on their shoes and they track it in on the carpet or whatever. And then you go touch light switches and you got handprints of black shit all over the place.
It was thinned.
It's thinned out. It's not drying properly. It's garbage.
Wow.
I didn't know
So
any
is
about
this a
stuff.
hot process or a cold process?
Cold process.
Okay.
It goes on cold, but it does look hot, especially in the heat. When it's extremely warm and sunny out, it starts to steam up because the driveways are generally baking. It's hotter on the driveway than anywhere else, like on the grass or.
Is there a limit to when you can apply it if it's too hot? Like last week we had that heat wave.
I mean, we've been doing it all summer. I mean, there's been lots of days plus 35, hitting close to 40, and we've been working. I mean, it's just harder for us. That's
Hotter the better.
Well,
For adhering.
yeah.
Can I ask you a really stupid question? This is one of the things this is kind of like a myth that I've heard, and I wanted to kind of straighten it out with you now because I've been waiting for this podcast for a long time. We've been talking about doing asphalt and spraying for a really long time.
Anything that's black and matte, Carlito likes.
Yeah.
Like these mics.
So one of the things I've heard is that you can get an oil product and you can get a latex product. So what I've been told is obviously the latex product is the product that only lasts 3 to 6 months, but it allows the asphalt to breathe.
It does.
Where the oil product can actually kind of not allow the asphalt to breathe, and it may actually crack your asphalt.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, well, no, not necessarily. I mean, we do use a latex emulsion. That's the technical term for it, biolithic or whatever, bitumic, or I don't know.
So what is it?
terminology.
Elasticated kind of
It's
latex?
it's like a substract of some tars and oils, obviously, right? It's
Okay.
it's quite thick and viscous. But what we're getting back there with the latex. So it is a latex, right? At the end of the day, but yes, that is correct. It does allow the asphalt to breathe, asphalt. And also,
I like the asphalt better.
yeah, the way that we put it on, I mean, we put it on liberally, so you're getting a lot covered. So the average, our driveways last 2 to 3 years.
So how many
Where the
coats
spray driveway might last you 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
So how many coats are you putting on? So you're putting
Just one coat.
One coat.
But we go over the same spot about 5 times. We multi-layer it as we apply it. So I'll pull it over the same area. It's like a big, brush that we put it on with. So
you're brushing it over 4 or 5
before,
times.
And then we do
And
your
then work
finish
your way
stroke.
down, next one,
Yeah,
next one.
exactly.
I do agree that even for me and Manny being general contractors, and the final when you're cleaning up and you're getting ready to leave, the nicest touch is to get it sealed
Oh, yeah.
so that it looks brand new
And
again.
Carlito, that's what we usually do, and I advocate that too. So you guys come in first. You got bins on the driveway, might get scraped up a bit, or who are no landscape guys, tile guy, whatever. Stonework guys just scrape up the driveway bit. So I always say, listen, I'll come last, and that is the finishing touch. We can also help you out too if let's say you spill a little bit or something on there, a little paint,
thin
or
set,
some oil or thin set, anything crazy, right?
But what you don't do, which I'm a little disappointed, is that if you're not spraying it, how do I get all the edging of my grass painted black?
I don't do that. There's no overspray. There's nothing to worry about.
That's what
here.
I'm saying. Is like, where's the overspray? There's no overspray.
There is no
you
chance
see
of
those
overspray.
lines.
You don't have to worry about doing
you
it
see
on
those
a windy
lines of
day.
all that grass.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
all black.
You get it
now.
on your
on the
white-
sidewalk.
Yeah,
and
on your white garage door or your white Mercedes or something.
So
or the neighbors.
You're
two houses
saying
over.
you're saying there's a massive, or there's a huge difference in dry time then. Like your product pretty much sets up and dries to the touch pretty much right
Within
away.
about an hour. So I mean, I tell my customers stay off for minimum 24 hours in this heat, like a day and a half. It dries pretty quick. Dries to touch in about an hour, and I tell them you can walk on in about 4 to 5 hours, which is no vehicle traffic for minimum 24 hours.
Here's a
especially in the
question
heat.
for you, Leo. Should you seal a brand new paved driveway?
Never.
Never.
No.
How
People
long
have
should
asked
you
me
wait?
that.
How long should you wait?
People have asked me that, and that's what you have to think about too. So basically, after a driveway's paved, it's jet black to begin with. So a lot of oils and tar in it still, and then it starts to fade out over time because sun UV rays bleaches out everything over time. And then, it's like us being on the beach all day without sunscreen on. So basically, after about 6 months to a year, your driveway starts to fade. So that's when you want to seal it. So yes, the question is, wait minimum 6 months. I think a year is better.
I didn't
Okay,
know
that's
that.
good to know.
That's cool. And then how are you handling like cracks? What size crack are we talking about?
You probably can get up to.
Well, let me
You
phrase
are the asphalt man.
Let me phrase the
I'm
question
the
correctly,
asphalt
okay?
man.
How should you handle any cracks on the asphalt?
Okay.
I love this podcast.
So basically, you got to clean out the crack, obviously. So you have various different tools for that. I mean,
I take it you use your finger a lot.
you can use your finger, but with COVID, you keep your glove on.
Okay, seriously though, how do you fix cracks on the
All right,
asphalt?
how we fix them is we clean them out, pretty much route them out, grout them out, whatever, with wire brushes.
Well,
or-
what crack is way too big?
Okay,
like,
so
like you're gonna say
yeah,
that.
here we go.
No, like okay, listen.
never too big,
Yeah.
Manny.
You tell the homeowner that crack is too big. I can't fill it. That's all.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, basically quarter of an inch.
That's the kind of size crack.
probably
we're talking.
getting
Okay.
as big as you're gonna be able to handle. And then we're talking how many cracks. If you got 2 or 3, yeah, we can fix it up. If you got 53, no. I mean, that driveway's beat.
Why do we have the crack? What happens to the pavement to make it crack?
So like I said, it dries out over time, and then the stresses of parking on it or shoveling or picking at it with a ice pick in the winter or whatever you're doing on it, just normal wear and tear, it starts to
Leaking
break
oil.
down, leaking oil, gasoline.
It just keeps on eating away at
Yeah,
it.
that'll eat away at it. And that's another reason why you seal it as well. It helps protect it. But yeah, it starts to dry out, and when it gets dried out, it cracks. I mean, that's the whole. That's it's not meant to last forever.
How do you feel about people that go and I'm gonna throw a product name out there. One of the big box stores, one is the King patch kits.
Oh.
You can buy this quick patch and you can fill any hole, but it's like bubble gum and it always stays mushy and gushy.
Yeah.
Is that something you will take out, or will you just go over top of that?
Well, you should remove it. I mean, if you're gonna seal on top of that, it's just not a good representation of your work. So you should get it off there before you seal it. But I mean, obviously, it depends on what it's protecting. I mean, at the end of the day, if you need to do a hot asphalt repair, that's what you need. So you got to get real asphalt back onto real asphalt.
And
These little gimmicky things, I've seen them. I don't think they work. I mean, there's one out there that you're supposed to add water to it or something. I haven't really used it, but
Add water to it?
yeah, it's called an aqua patch or something. Comes in a big
A-
pail.
anything to sell to the homeowner, right? Stuff that they can do at
well,
home.
look, there's one out there that they're saying that it's going to last you 10 years or something crazy. There's no sealer. Driveway doesn't even last 10 years. How the frick's a sealer going to last you 10 years? You know
yeah, it's
what I mean?
only as good as the surface.
Yeah, so
right?
I mean, I wonder about those things because people ask me, Leo, how long does your driveways usually last? I go 2 to 3 years, like normal wear and tear, obviously, right? So they go, are there any warranties on it? I go, well, it's not like a written warranty because homeowners are
It's wear and
if you
tear,
say
Mother
2 years,
Nature.
yeah, Mother Nature.
Yeah.
If you tell them 2 years, they're going to call you the day before 2 years is up and expect a free driveway. It's not because my product's no good. I stand behind my driveways. Now, if a guy calls me next year and says, Leo, this, wore it a little bit here or whatever, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Just go do it for him.
And that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
I don't want no headaches.
Yeah.
Like I tell everybody, I'm not afraid to show my face in any neighborhood I've ever worked in. When I go show up somewhere, I'd rather do the whole street. I'm not here for one driveway. I want to get in good with everybody on the street, all the neighbors, give them fair value, and give them real work for real money. And the way I've seen it over the years, if you do a crappy job, you can't show your face in that neighborhood. Because if you do a bad job for somebody out there, and all contractors should know this, world travels fast. So my philosophy is, I don't want to come and do one driveway. I want to do them all. So if I did a bad driveway for you or you,
The
right,
word will get out.
you will tell 20 people that I did a shit job and don't hire this asshole ever again.
Manny does that a lot.
Right.
I do not do that at all.
But seriously, I'd rather have them tell 50 people I did a fantastic job. And that's why I get all the driveways. I'm not worried
And you
about
know what? Saying that, people for some reason never say the good; they always say the bad.
Always,
so
always.
if they are saying good, you have done something really amazing.
it. Yeah.
People
I'm-
say the good and bad about us on this podcast all the time.
The good, bad, and ugly.
Yeah.
Can I ask you?
No, hang on a sec. We have another segment.
Oh, okay. A building code talk with Manny.
We are talking to Leo Ing from www.ingservices.net, sales at Ing Services, ING Services.net. I'm surprised ING didn't come after you, man. 416-892-4526. Get your next driveway sealed that way. And what was it again? Building code talk? What are we going to talk about here?
Obviously, we're going to talk about asphalt.
We're going to talk about asphalt shingles.
Ooh.
What pitch is required for asphalt shingles? What's the minimum pitch?
You have to be above a 312 pitch.
212.
It's 212? That's a flat roof, man.
Basically, that's the
What kind of minimum code is
That's
that?
the minimum.
I wouldn't do
Shingles
anything
of
under
all
4.
types need to have a slope to function properly. The minimum required is 212.
Who is this protecting?
This is the Ontario
It's not
Building
protecting
Code.
anybody.
The 212 number is rise over run or 2 units of vertical for every 12 units of horizontal. That works out to be 9 degrees.
I'm going to tell you the Croatian building code for that.
Hang on, I don't care
Anything
about
under
the Croatian.
412.
I don't care. What is the minimum roof pitch for snow?
Okay, you'll have to say that again because that's kind of like a tricky
What is the
area.
minimum roof pitch for snow? It's 1 inch per foot. Minimum slope is 1 inch per foot recommended for snow country. So it's a different code. Metal roofing systems have a good track record of performance in harsh winter environments as long as they are properly designed. The key factors are usually snow loading requirements, adequate slope, and the use of snow guards when needed. Here's one last question. You might know this, Leo. Carlito, maybe. I'm not exactly
Thanks.
sure. How
Appreciate
many
that
layers
confidence.
of shingles are allowed on a roof in Ontario?
Well, I've seen a few,
What's
but
the-
I'm going to say
what's
I've
the
only heard of
maximum?
maybe 3.
So I'm gonna play along. Not that I agree with this shit at all. It should. First I want to say it should only be 1, and it should be removed.
I'm
But
going to play along, and that's
You know
I
what?
agree with
I
this
have
shit.
also seen some fucking hacks and some homeowners that are so cheap that they'll do 3.
So what are you saying?
Fucking 3.
2.
Oh, thank
2.
God something
All right.
changed.
So two is the maximum that the Ontario Building Code is allowing, right? Most building codes allow for 2 layers of organic or fiberglass asphalt shingles on roofs with a 412 pitch or less. The 3 layers on steeper roofer, so you can actually like 3 layers on steep roofs. If the structure can support the added weight, a typical 20 square, 2,000 square foot re-roof will cost at least $1,000 less if you do not tear off.
You know what they are doing, right?
$1,000, man.
They're creating moisture and heat and weight. This is disgusting.
No, it's no good. I mean, it's similar to the driveway business. You know, you get this question all the time. I've seen it out there, these hack jobs, and people get their driveways paved, but then they don't want to rip it up because it's all beat up and cracked up. So they ask the paver, can you put an inch on it? Inch ain't gonna do you shit. That's just gonna crack up. If you have a weak foundation, an inch ain't gonna do nothing for me. And I mean, typical driveway, you're getting minimum 3 inches anyways. And that's fresh asphalt. It's not all.
Where do they get this knowledge, man? Like that, okay, just add an inch. Don't take off the old roof, just put the new roof on. I'll have a second layer of waterproof.
Sounds like a slumlord.
Where does that come from? Where does that information come from? Who's, or is it just laziness, lazy homeowners?
It's probably more of it.
I think that's what it is, right?
You know what?
So that was.
That was building code talk with Manny.
We're talking to Leo Ing at www.ingservices.net, sales at ingservices.net, and 416-892-4526. Let's get back to talking a lot more about asphalt.
I kind of want to veer off, but it's saying the same area.
Why?
Okay.
Why?
When to go price a tile job out. Okay?
What the fuck does tile have to do with asphalt?
It's the same. It's the same poison.
Square foot.
It's the same poison. Okay. So I walk into a house. What year are we in right now?
2020?
Who the fuck uses chicken wire still?
Nobody.
And they want a curbless shower. Yeah, I want a curbless shower. And I'm looking at chicken wire, and I'm like,
Who's this house for? Stevie Wonder?
I have to rip all this out. No. I don't want to rip up the chicken wire. I'm like, do you know if you look in the code book, there is no chicken wire in that code book.
It's in a dry pack, and the chicken wire has to be embedded in
what
it.
I'm leading
Yeah.
to is, why are people doing 1 inch? Like, is that just being cheap?
That is being cheap.
So
Extremely cheap. Because, they get talked into it. I don't know.
Are they flipping a house? Is that why
That's
they're doing it?
Could part of it, I'd imagine.
It's got to be beautifying. That's all it is.
Because
to
I've
sell it.
also seen I've seen guys buy houses over really crap wallpaper and really bad walls.
And
they
let's
put a
get back to
quarter-inch drywall.
asphalt. How about we get back to asphalt? What's the average cost to seal the driveway?
Basically, we go by square foot to a certain degree. I mean, if it's a smaller driveway, well, let's talk price. I mean, your typical double car driveway, cleaned and sealed, you're probably looking in the neighborhood about $225 to $250 plus tax.
That's really affordable.
And
It is.
And what
People
are
don't
the
realize
spray
not that much.
doctors? What are they charging?
See, that's the thing. They're charging, if I'm charging, say, $225 for a driveway, for argument's sake, they're going to charge $200. And they get it.
Wow.
And people don't know the difference because people aren't educated.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
so they're charging almost the same?
They're charging, let's call it the same, because it's not that much difference.
I didn't know that, man.
And their stuff lasts you 1 year max. My stuff lasts you 2 to 3 year max. So you think about it, I'm actually cheaper. I should be charging 3 times as much if my product's 3 times as good.
And you're putting 4 times on more product,
4 times more.
not dieseled down.
No,
Wow.
no.
So now I got a different outlook for these guys that come by the neighborhood and just spray and.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, how do you ever walk away from a project that you feel is not appropriate for you?
Absolutely. Every contractor should not be afraid to walk away from a job because you can't satisfy every homeowner. And, you know, I've been in this business and this game of contracting for a long time. So you kind of get to know who you can actually work for and who actually deserves your work too. I
You're
mean, as much
totally
as they
right.
pick
Well
us,
said.
we can pick them too, no?
You're totally right.
We've always
And
said
you
that.
know, you can't satisfy everybody, and you should know that after a while. You just know the type of person they are, the type of questions they probe you with. You know, it's kind of weird. Like if somebody always wants too much of your time, they want you to come, they give me an estimate. They want you to come there 5 times before they're willing to part with $1 with you, and they think, you know, they're winning. I'm getting good money out of this guy. I'm getting my money's worth.
Let me ask you guys a question. Something recently happened that it's a first for me. I was a little.
Is this asphalt in the conversation of
This
asphalt?
is client base relevant. Okay, don't try to pick at me the way I pick at you. Okay, that's how it works, right? Leo, you get the dynamic
It
of the
does,
show
though.
here.
It does,
you
though.
totally got it, right? So it was interesting. I got an email, as I do, about an inquiry for a job, as I do. The thing is, though, that this client sent a written letter, wrote a letter
To you?
to me, requesting if I could look at possibly quoting a renovation that they want to do for a described house of his, and wanted to get an idea. He searched me out through Google or online social media. The letter threw me off. Normally I would get an email inquiry, sometimes a DM on social media,
I think it's very passionate.
but the letter threw me off, and I want to get your opinions. What do you guys think about a client sending a contractor a letter? Not a handwritten letter. It was like a Word doc letter, but it was a letter, though. It was still a
He
formal
mailed
letter.
it to you?
No, emailed me the letter.
Oh, he emailed it.
But he's like, he wrote a letter.
I don't know.
Is he a writer?
This isn't Jeopardy. It's not a fucking game show. I'm just trying to get your opinion about that. How would you take that?
So I have had letters given to me.
Afterwards, when the work is done.
No, or before the project starts, I have had them.
Okay.
I found them weird also. Ended up.
I'm not saying I'm finding it weird.
I did find it weird.
Yeah.
I did. Usually people call me and I always tell them I need to see the work. I don't think that any house is exactly the same or any project is identical. They're always different. The people that had sent me the letters ended up being my lifetime customers and
That's
the
what
best
I'm-
customers I've ever had.
See, that's what it's.
Even though it's kind of weird and creepy.
I haven't assessed it. What are your thoughts, Leo?
I don't know. I've never really gotten something like that
This
before.
is
but
my first one.
Yeah.
This is the first time.
I find that unusual. I mean, you know,
I
I
think
think
it's-
curiosity. If you know, something's up.
I don't know.
No, I
just-
think they're serious. I think that when someone writes a letter,
I think it's kind of interesting that letter being sent as in the email as a doc kind of feeds to both sides. Like you're thinking they're serious, they're kind of weird. It's thinking that okay, they're being professional, but they're kind of being
Well, they're kind of being legal also.
maybe legal
Yeah.
as well too.
And, and that
That's
could be leading
part of it.
That's the other thing that I've
I've
thought
never
about.
had anything bad come out of it so
I know,
far.
but I
in my
haven't.
experience,
I haven't done work. I haven't done anything. I haven't met these people. I don't know who they are.
There's
I don't-
so many. I mean, it is kind of legal, and it kind of scares you.
Maybe they think that they know me because of social media or something. I don't know. Maybe they.
But there's a lot of passionate people that's still right.
Yeah. So I just want to get your thought. I just thought it's got nothing to do with asphalt.
I think you should accept it because you have nothing to worry about.
I responded back,
nothing to
and
hide
I
from.
was professional. I didn't write back another letter. I just responded back saying, "Listen, let me know when you have time. Here's my schedule. I'm available these times, and we can schedule a time for a call." And that's all I said. Thank you very much for reaching out to me.
I think they'll be a lifetime customer.
Really? Eh?
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
A couple of years from now, like when I'm 60.
I don't know. A couple of years from now when you're 60. All right. What else don't we know about asphalt? Well,
What don't
Carlito
you
wants to
know?
say something. I don't know. What's going on?
No, I just I wanted to say, like, do you also have an asphalt guy that you refer?
Definitely.
When, like, so someone brings you in, they want to be cheap. You're an honest guy, so
Right.
you explain to them what every contractor should do is be honest and tell you the real deal.
That's right.
Instead of just trying to make a couple bucks and take off.
That's right.
Is the asphalt guy a Chindian too?
No. He's a real asphalt guy. He's a paisan.
He's a paisan.
Hey,
eh?
what's
He's a
going on?
paisan.
It's amazing you didn't say Portuguese.
No. Yeah, most of the guys are obviously Italian in that business for sure.
What I do want to ask you is, you must know everything about asphalt.
Pretty much.
Yeah, like when you look at it, you
I know.
understand it
Oh,
completely.
yeah.
What's happening,
Oh,
roots,
yeah.
rocks,
Yeah.
water damage,
Everything.
whatever. What is a perfect substrate before asphalt, and what is the perfect thickness for an asphalt?
Oh, we just went into
Driveway.
the Jeopardy round.
Okay, well, pretty much. I mean, a lot of guys use crushed rock or limestone base, 3/4. A lot of times now they're using concrete, broken concrete, and stuff like that as a base. And then as far as asphalt, as far as paving a driveway, you're getting 3 inches minimum. But some people think you're going to get 6 or 10 inches. No, you're not. You're going to get 3 inches.
I always thought it was less than 3. I always thought it was
Now,
like 2
well,
inches or
they might
something.
cheat a bit, but depends on who you're dealing with. But a good paver, quality paver would be 3 minimum.
And you're
3.
doing 2 passes, right? You're doing a base and then you're doing a top coat,
do a
right?
base and then your top coat.
And then underneath that, you've got your crush.
Yeah.
Is it safe to say also that after you do your substrate, do you wait a year before you put the asphalt down?
Not that long, maybe a few months.
Yeah. Do you believe in putting one layer and then coming back a year from now and putting a second one on, or are you okay with just?
Yeah, I mean, you see that a lot in new construction, just so they can sign off on the houses. So they'll just put the base shots in, so, the homeowners can get in. Just like they put the running boards or whatever, just to get in the house. So they, even the kitchens, they'll just put a piece of plywood just so they can sign off and get the people into the house. That's a good way to do it. But most driveways, you probably just put, 3 inches of, HL3 or 3A. There's different types of asphalt.
And is that so for the, like, you have a different diction. I'm not used to the asphalt talk. So
Right.
what does that actually mean? Is that the pea stones or the rock
Right.
diameter?
Yeah, that's the amount of, the size of the rock in there. So let's say, for example, your road, that's going to be most likely an HL6 or an HL3. That means it's got more aggregate, which is rock, than, say, the sand and tar, which asphalt's pretty much comprised of. Now, most homeowners, they don't like it that, say, rough. So
They want it finer.
They want it finer and smoother. So they want we'll give them an HL3A, which has more,
HL3A.
right? Not as
I like
big
this.
stones, and it's a smoother finish. When you roll it, it looks smoother. Because you get some people that are complaining that the texture's too rough and some of the stones look like they're coming out. Yeah, it's not supposed to be smooth like a glass table, because you get some snow or rain on that, you're just going to wipe out on it.
Slip.
So you need it'd be very slippery. So you need a little bit of grip.
What's the reasoning why you have to wait before you put the first coat on the second coat? Why do you have to? I thought you compact that gravel base first and then you.
Yeah, so when you get a new driveway, you usually rip up the existing driveway first. You get a bobcat in there or whatever and rip it out, and then let it sit for a good month or so. And then you put on, and then come back and pave it.
I did want to ask, just had a brain fart.
Of course you did.
Okay, so one of the big problems I've heard is that a lot of guys like to use recycled asphalt.
about to ask
So
that. I see glass
there's,
bottles in
There's
there.
there's 1, there's 2, and there's
is.
3.
That's right.
How do I know, and how do I protect myself as a homeowner or a contractor hiring the right asphalt guy, that they are using first, which is the cleanest and most pure, not recycled?
Yeah.
And how much of a cost difference is it from 1 to 3?
Yeah, I guess you're gonna have to go off of reputation. You don't really know where the guy, the paver's getting his asphalt from, per se, right? And you're right, there is recycled out there. As far as the difference in price, I mean, most driveways nowadays you're looking at about in the neighborhood of $2.25, $2.50 a square foot. And most
That's for the
pavers-
fine stuff, or is that for
yeah, that's for the HL3A. So I know with my paver, he's getting, real asphalt, like made daily, not this recycled rehash shit. So, I wouldn't recommend anybody else, but.
And who is that? Can you do a shout out?
Yeah. It's Carlo from Pearly Region Paving.
Okay. I'm going to definitely give him and you a call on the next project
Absolutely.
I need.
I've known him for over 25 years now, at least.
Have you gotten sick of the smell of asphalt? Or you
Yeah,
love
you
this?
get
I
used to it.
I
Yeah, you
I
get used
actually
to it.
love the smell of asphalt.
Yeah.
I
I
do.
like it when it rains.
Yeah, freshly paved asphalt.
smells great.
Well,
I love that smell.
I did asphalt for a little bit.
Yeah.
I worked for the city, and after we did trenching or we did, street work, road work, we would get the recycled, and then basically the city would come in after a year or two and then rip it all up. It was fun. Going back and forth with the roller, tamping,
Oh, yeah.
the layers. I mean, I learned a lot about it. I love the raking.
Yeah.
You
Not
got to
a bad
work. You
raker.
got to work fast.
You do.
Like people think you got time, but
No.
you don't. The guys are like, go,
Yeah,
go,
you gotta
go.
hustle. I mean, that's the thing. You want it hot so it's more pliable. So when you roll it, it rolls out smoother. I mean,
Doesn't
if it gets
stick.
frozen, good luck. You can't heat that up.
What's the rule of thumb? How high should it be left up so then you can roll it? It actually lands exactly where it's supposed to be.
An inch.
An inch?
Yeah,
That's what it is. So you leave it up an inch from where you want it to end.
yeah, because it's gonna compress a bit.
Gotcha.
For sure.
It's like that sandwich in your back pocket.
No, I don't have a sandwich in my pocket. But I do know that my driveway's got a nice little hole from the kickstand from the motorcycle.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was a hot, sunny day.
yeah.
And it just, I parked the bike and all of a sudden in the corner of my eye, I started seeing my bike just start to lean. And I was like, what the
Uh-oh.
fuck's it doing,
Yeah.
right? And it's moving on its own.
That's
And then all of a
scary.
sudden I looked at the kickstand and about 4 inches of the kickstand went into it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I need
Yeah.
a little piece of plywood over
So
there.
next to the heat and the weight, why is that happening? Is there any way? Is that like
Pinpoint.
Is that like a number 1 or number 3 asphalt? Like, is there a reason or a fix to getting that stronger?
What do you mean, make it stronger?
Like, the
You gotta get into
kickstand
concrete
stinking
world.
in. Did it get
Oh
tamped
no,
properly?
that's you put a chair on it. It was, with a
It's the same thing.
120-pound person, you're gonna sink into it on a hot.
I
day.
just was just
Doesn't
wondering
matter.
if there's something to know about
Yeah.
that.
120-pound person?
Well,
Thank you very
whatever.
much, Leo.
So another question
A
for
light
you.
person could even put some damage on that. Driveways won't get it.
a little, what the hell are they called again? I totally forgot what they're called. Those little people in Lord of the Rings.
Hobbits.
I have no idea why hobbits got
I
stuck
don't
in my
know
head.
where you're going with this
I
right
have
now.
no
but
idea. They're probably good at asphalt.
It's all that asphalt talk.
That's right.
So, do you see a difference when you're spraying a number 1, number 2, or number 3? Like from really
Oh,
good
yeah,
asphalt
okay.
to number 3 after a year of it being
Yeah.
installed? Do you see a difference?
Yeah, oddly enough, too. So now we're getting into different grades of it, right? So yeah, you've got some of the recycled stuff, and I see this a lot now. And because it's recycled, and maybe it's got a little piece of rebar or whatever from the concrete, or I don't know what it is. You see driveways have, I call them measles. It rusts.
Really?
Yeah, you'll see little rust marks all over it afterwards.
It's just, what is it? Just debris that's
Recycled.
Is it
Part of the
accidentally put in
recycled.
there, or
no,
is it
it's
on
part of the filler? I guess.
that's
I don't know.
just filler.
It just got in there. I mean, they're
Well,
rehashing a
they're
lot of
also
it.
mixing it in the yard. So, like
That's right.
when we were tearing up roads, we tried to separate the asphalt, but in the yard sometimes it gets over to the other one, and guys get lazy and they
Yeah.
throw things over. So that's great. So, like if I see any red, I'll know that that's a recycled asphalt.
That's a good indication.
The guys are coming with the truck and they're dropping off the asphalt to get it put in. Can I see anything that would make me aware that I paid for?
Probably wouldn't know unless you had a severely trained eye.
Okay.
Yeah. The average
So,
homeowner would know this.
want to tell us?
Sure.
Teach us a little thing or two?
Yeah. You can reach me 416-892-4526.
How come is it sometimes I'm driving on the highways and I start to see all those little pieces of glass inside the asphalt?
Yeah, they
it's
put
just
that in.
fillers. It's just a bunch of fillers.
Well, no, some of that for the highways for safety. That's
the glass, the
done.
recycled pieces of
Yeah,
glass.
to reflect some
Really?
light off the surface. Well, that's what I've heard anyways. I mean, I don't know how true that is. But
So they're doing that on purpose.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Wouldn't it be cool if you got a contract with the city where you had to seal all the highways?
Oh God, yeah. It'd be amazing.
Wait a second.
I tell the homeowners on the street, I go, everybody pitches in an extra $100 or so, I'll do the street. You have the best looking street in your neighborhood.
Would you do something like that?
I
Sure, why not?
You'd have to get
I'm a contractor. You
You'd
pay
have
me,
to
I'll
get
do
a
anything.
Zamboni for that, huh? You
Pretty
can't
much.
do
It'd be-
Zamboni.
Yeah, it'd be tough.
Oh, that'd be cool, huh?
That would be wicked.
A Zamboni sealer.
I've seen that before.
No.
20 years ago when I sort of got into this, I went to a conference, asphalt conference, sealing conference, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, the guy had a machine like that, but it never really took off. I didn't really see other than him using it or the guy who invented whatever.
It's too big for such a small
It
driveway.
would be. This is still very labor intensive at the end of the day.
Do you duct tape the concrete or anything when you're
No.
brushing?
I mean, a lot of people ask me that. So, I tell them like this, they have nice stone edges, interlocking or whatever it is, concrete. And they ask me, are you going to get any on my edges? I say, no, I won't. And they say, are you sure? I go, definitely. And I go, how do you know that? Are you going to tape them? I go, tape? Even a good painter doesn't use tape to cut in. I mean, tapes for people that don't know how to paint. So, or cut in, whatever. I don't need that. And remember, I'm wielding a 40-inch brush here. It's not a little paintbrush or whatever. So it's thick tar. So now I won't get any on. And if they're still persistent and really adamant about me not getting any on, I'll just tell them, listen, I'll bet you the cost of the driveway. You can watch me do it. If I get one drop, the driveway's free. If I don't, you pay me double.
Wow.
They'll never agree to that. They agree?
That's how you get them off your ass because there's some, real hard, I call them hard-ons. And they keep, they want to make sure, and you tell them you're going to do it good. I'm very meticulous anyways.
Hard-ons.
Hard-ons. Yeah, that's a new word for your audience. Hard-ons.
No, we've used that one.
Okay, well.
Yeah, but it was used in a different
But
situation.
asphalt's the new one.
Yeah. Asphalt and a hard-on.
And
plenty of
clean
cracks.
that crack out. When will you not spray a driveway? Like what?
He doesn't spray.
I don't
he
spray,
brush.
man.
Sorry,
How many
brush.
times?
Sorry.
What's going on?
Okay, we
It's a
got
bad
that
word.
clear. Yes, I won't. I'll never use spraying again. Sorry. When will you brush? When will you
Seal.
not brush or seal a driveway?
Okay, so like I said, I think I said this before, but minimally 6 months after it's paved, year is better. Other than that, the only time I wouldn't do it is if the driveway is that bad that, listen, Mr. Homeowner, Mrs. Homeowner, you need to get this paved. And I'm an honest guy, and I'll say, save your few $100 with me and put it towards your paving budget, and then you're good for another, 15, 20 years or whatever with your driveway. You don't have to worry about it anymore. So if that's what you need, that's what you need.
Is there a cutoff weather-wise? You can't do this in winter.
Oh, so basically, yeah, we get started at the end of April and we'll go to around, I would say, mid-October. I mean, you want the weather to be sunny, obviously, and maybe above 8, 10 degrees.
But you could do it in the fall or winter.
I've sealed in November before, 5-degree weather on a sunny day. It's not
It's fine.
ideal.
The
It'll
product
still
is
set
okay.
up. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's not ideal, and then, I really don't want to be working that late in the season. The
But did you
season's
go
long
back
enough.
to those driveways and looked at them and they were fine? They
were
still
fine.
lasted 2 years, 3 years?
Absolutely. No
Okay,
problem.
so that's good.
What I was leading to was more someone using a cheaper product or a box store product.
Right.
And your product, like sometimes I can tell when someone's using a certain paint.
Right.
And
You would know that.
I won't give them a warranty. I'll say, I'm going to paint, but because you used such a cheap paint before
Right.
or the homeowner before you, I
Yeah.
can't give you any warranties. Are there products that you've seen that you won't go over?
Let's say, for example, I've seen okay, here's how sealer breaks down. I mean, you got the spray guys, which I already talked about. It's not very good. And then you got the guys that, there's not a lot of guys we do, but there's a few out there, and that's the best. The other thing is, too, let's say, for example, you go to Home Depot or wherever, and you're going to buy some sealer. And you don't know what to buy because there's, it's like buying, shavers or something like that. There's, so many different products. But a good product is, say, Black Knight Airport Grade. People are familiar with that product. It's similar to what we have. It's a matte finish, but the difference being that stuff has about 10% rubberized solids, where ours has 40%. So it's 4 times as thick, 4 times more durable. It's really an industrial strength sealant. This is the type of sealer that, they call it, airport grade. Mm-hmm. Because some tarmacs have been sealed, like the Ottawa airport. tarmac was sealed 20 years ago. I don't think they still do it, but there's some people that do that. So getting back to what you're asking me, Carlito, about the different grades, here's another one that people don't know. If you buy an acrylic sealer, which if you go to these box stores, they sell it at a premium price. Now, 20-gallon pail, they're going to sell you for $50 and up, a premium sealer. But if you put an acrylic sealer on there, you might as well just pour gas on it. It's gonna destroy the driveway. And what it does is does not allow the asphalt to breathe. And what happens there, the top 1/4 of an inch scores into the asphalt, and it just breaks apart like a pie crust.
Really? It just eats away at it?
You'll ruin a brand new pave job. Brand new pave job.
And it'll eat away at it?
It'll just crack.
So what's
everywhere?
the reason?
Spider web cracking, alligator cracking, whatever you want to
Really?
call
It's
it.
not breathing.
It's not breathing.
Can't flex.
Yeah.
So what product is that
Brutal.
again? Let me just hear that
An
one more.
acrylic sealer. Don't buy that.
Okay, and where would you normally buy that?
At your box stores or any of these.
So
Canadian
anything
tires,
says
whatever.
acrylic,
Don't buy it.
run from it.
Run.
Best tip all day, because you know what?
That is the best
I've heard
tip.
so many people complain to me, and this is why I've been looking forward to this, is that
Yeah.
I see people doing it themselves, and I say,
Yeah.
hey, did you get a latex or did you get an oil? You're using an oil tar.
A latex.
Okay,
It's a latex emulsion
So
sealer.
the most important part is the acrylic. Do
buy
not
it.
use it.
Right.
Okay.
That's the best advice to all your audience.
Okay, so there's latex, there's oil, there's acrylic.
Right.
Acrylic's between the two.
Between the two.
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's play a little game here out of the big box stores, because there's other products that I don't agree with should be there. I think first and foremost, all these asphalt repair products should not be at the big box. Is that true or not true?
I mean, there are some decent crack fillers out there. Rust-Oleum has a good one called Durabond. That's not bad.
Durabond?
Yeah, Durabond.
Does Durabond know about that?
I think they
I
carry...
think it's called. Yeah, no, I don't know. Sorry, Durabond. That's something else there.
That's Durabond is for plastic.
you got me excited.
Sorry. Yeah, no. What's it called? Shit, I can't remember.
I was like, Durabond?
Durabond.
I should know this, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But that's not a bad.
So that's a good one.
Durex.
No, it's called,
Durex is a condom. Stop, man.
I only use Trojan sheepskin.
And this podcast is brought to you by Trojan. My point I was getting with is that remember at the time in the big box, I don't think they do this, but you can correct me if I'm wrong, Carlito. Do they still sell those portable spray foam kits? They still sell them at the big box.
They sell them. The last one I bought was at Lowe's.
Wow. I think those should not be sold to DIYers.
Well, I mean, it's nice for the really small jobs, 350 square feet.
Oh man, you should be certified. Same with asphalt sealing. You should be certified. You should there's certain products in these big box stores that should not be there.
You know what?
You should call a pro.
When you read,
you get to the aisle, it should be a sign there. Call a pro.
When I read the data sheet, it tells me what respirator to use. I go buy a paint suit. I wear my gloves.
Come on, man. You should be certified. No.
Listen, I do like. I love spray foam. You know I do. It's a 3 pound. It's not a 2 pound. It's a 3 pound closed cell. And sometimes it gets the job done fast.
Disagree
on
with
small jobs.
Disagree.
Instead of bringing a big company in and paying $800, I'm spending $400. I'm getting the job done myself, and I can move on with the project instead of waiting 2-3 weeks.
You ever seal any playgrounds? Any
Yeah, I have
basketball courts?
actually. Yeah, no, I've done.
They get into color sealing, don't they? Or sometimes
I've seen that, and that's another thing too. You see some of these handicap painted whatevers, right? And similar, it's somewhat sealed. I mean, it's a big blue square for the handicap zone.
That's a sealer too.
Yeah, and that's an acrylic. So look at every
Oh,
handicap.
wait, are you kidding me?
That's why those things are all wherever they paint that blue and yellow handicap sticker.
Are you
look
kidding
down.
me?
That's an acrylic paint, similar to the acrylic sealer. That's going to crack up.
So does the city know this,
asphalt.
that they're tendering guys out to use a product that's going to deteriorate the product that's underneath?
I don't think they really
Wasn't that
know,
like the
and I don't
scam
think they
that
really
a few
care.
years ago? Wasn't there a scam a few years ago that a company was doing pothole filling and they weren't filling them properly, and then they were just getting more damage, so then they get more work, and then they would just notify the city saying, no, we have another 200 potholes to do, but they only filled half of them. So the other potholes just got bigger, and it became a whole scam, and they got busted for it.
I'm sure that's happened out there for sure.
So those handicap, are you kidding me?
Yeah, go look at your next
Yeah,
one.
they're
You're in a
fully-
parking lot at your Tim
and
Hortons
they're all,
or whatever.
yeah, they're all
flaking up.
It's almost
Always.
like it's like spilled paint that just left there,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden it's like spider cracking.
Right.
So it's actually eating away from the asphalt,
Right.
eating the asphalt away.
That's right.
Dun dun dun.
I do want to say it's pretty funny that you charge so little. You put such a great product
Yeah.
on. And now I am one of those contractors that has gone out of my way after a project. My tile setters, if I'm not doing the tiles,
We're back to tile.
it's leading to asphalt spraying, and the guys put thin set all over the place. And I'll go to the big box store. By the time I get a squeegee and a roller, by the time I get my tape, I'm already at about $150
Easily.
And it's not even talking my time out.
That's right.
Where I could be spending my time wisely
pro.
doing what I'm good at,
That's right,
and
yeah.
getting you to come in.
Call a pro.
I'm making a point.
Yeah, here's the funniest thing, Carlito. Like, you got these homeowners to try to save $5-10, and like you said, it adds up. You do the math. It is about $150, right? So it's not a high profit margin or anything like that, but that's okay. We do a lot of volume. That's fine. We still make a living.
Well, it could be more than $150.
Right.
Because if I'm wearing my polo shirt, it could be $350 now.
Right. The funnier thing is you've got these guys that are the homeowners. They're trying to save $10. At the end of the day, they've got $20,000 worth of landscaping, French curbs, whatever, nice flagstone interlocking. And the guy, he goes out and buys a couple pails of acrylic or whatever bunch of crap from wherever, and he puts it on and he gets it all over the curbs, the sidewalk. I've seen guys get it on there right at the very bottom, where you drive up the little curb that you drive up the little ramp.
Yep.
Well, they put it a little too much, so they fucking just paint it all black. It looks like shit.
And they try to make the new line. Here's the new line.
Just keep going.
Just keep going.
We'll go across the street.
I love seeing the car prints. Someone doesn't block it properly, and someone drives in.
I once saw a driveway where the BMW was parked on there, and he went around the BMW because they were having an open house that particular day.
God, I've seen all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
I am curious where this
Before
may
you're
be
that
going.
curious, hang on a sec. It's time
wow, it's
for
time.
the show is just rolling along, man. It's time for Carlito's Green Book.
Oh, okay. Let's do this. So, I take it you don't know our game here.
No.
So we have a safety game. And
But you're familiar with the Green Book.
Sure.
it's like The Price is Right. So you get to learn something,
$5.50.
and you get to see if you're going to win.
$5.50.
But you're always a winner because you walk away with a safety.
$5.50.
So many just says $5.50. So first offense on this offense, how much do you think it will be? So I'm going to read this out to you. Sounds nice, eh?
Yes, it is a nice G-Wagon.
Mercedes.
Yes, it is a G-Wagon. It sounds really nice.
Okay, so here's the question. Section 103-1. Worker passing shovel, backhoe, or similar excavating machine, or a load over a worker. What would an inspector charge you on your first offense?
$5.50.
Okay, so he's got $5.50. What do you think the first offense is?
$550.
I'm an inspector. I come in, I watch you just take your excavator or a shovel over top of one of your workers' heads, and
I
I'm
see
like,
what you're saying. Yeah, that's
buddy,
definitely
what are you doing?
worthy of a fine. I'm gonna say $350.
Not bad. It's $250.
There's a 50 in there. That's another thing for all your contractors. My dad told me this a long time ago. If you want to get the job, just put a 5 at the end. So instead of 220, put 225.
You know what? I'm going to do that from
He's
now on.
right. You never round it off
put
to
a
a
5.
zero. Never round
You know
it
what?
off to a
A
zero.
5.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
A 5.
Just changed my pricing for
So
sure.
next week it's going to be $5.55.
255.
That was Carlito's Green Book talk.
Oh, thanks, Manny.
Getting back to
so
Leo.
I wanted to get into something exciting.
Hang on a sec.
Oh,
Triple
hey.
W Ing Services. ingservices.net, ingservices.net, and sales at ingservices.net, and the phone number is 416-892-4526. Back to you, Carlito. Ask
and
a
that
question
would be
all you
Asphalt Man.
ask your question all the time.
I love that it's actually not asphalt, it's asphalt. I love that.
Asphalt guy.
So what I'm excited about,
I want to count how many times we say asphalt today.
asphalt.
Asphalt.
I want to find out, is there anything that you can add for coloring to your driveway?
Oddly enough, that's a good question.
I brought that up with the playground stuff.
Sorry, yes, getting back to that. I have seen, I haven't used it, but I've seen there is an additive or I think it's an additive. I don't think they're just making specific batches of yellow or blue or whatever color you want, green. But I've seen it. I haven't used it. I'm not so sure how good or how bad it is. But I've seen it out there.
Wow, you know what? This just gave me a nightmare because I have a problem with people who paint garage doors a really odd color, loud color, obnoxious color. I can see them now painting matching ugly driveway color.
I was leading to something else. But,
What's that?
I was leading to basketball courts and tennis courts.
Yeah, the playgrounds.
Is that something you really do?
I've done a few. Like, that's not my forte. It's more driveways, per se, and parking lots or whatever. But, I've done a few in my time, for sure.
And do you sub out the line work?
No, I can put I do have line painters, but if it's really small, we can handle it. I mean,
Okay, so that's good to know. So if I have a 6-plex or a 20-plex or something like that, and I want to get my driveway done, I can call you, spray it, and you'll do all the curbs and the handicap and so on.
6-plex or a 20-plex?
Well, that's where I'm headed, my friend. I'm looking for an investor right now.
Reach out to Carlito. I don't know how, but reach out to him.
You know, on this podcast, Ass Man Crack, I don't know if you want to reach out.
Reach around.
So what's the worst thing you've ever seen? Like, what would a callback be for you?
I try not to have those, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, I just, as a good contractor, you don't want to waste time going back twice because your opportunity costs. If you got to go fix a mistake, you're losing money because you could go doing a new job making money.
Here's a question for you, Leo. What if someone's listening to us and they find out that the spray guys are all inferior product,
right?
But they realize that they're learning that your product's better and the application's better. Can you apply your product on top of the spray product, or they got to wait until that spray product kind of fades away?
Most of it fades away in 6 months to a year anyway, so it's not.
So you wouldn't apply it right afterwards?
No, never. I mean, I've seen some bad spray jobs recently, and unfortunately,
where a few months later you start seeing the lines.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I did a driveway across the street from a lady that got taken by one of these spray guys recently, and the spray guy told her that it was a matte finish, and I go, well, that's not the definition of a matte finish. I mean, it's shiny. You got to wear freaking sunglasses, or it's going to burn your eyeballs out. Anyways, I was across the street doing the other neighbor, and the lady came out, and I'd seen that she got a spray job. It looked ugly as shit, but she came out, and she waved me over, and she was trying to ask me what happened to her driveway because she wasn't too happy about it. So I had to, unfortunately give her the bad news. Yeah.
So did you end up spraying or?
No, she asked me if I could seal over top of it. I said, no, just let it fade out. This was only about a month ago, so probably, by next spring it'll be gone anyways.
Call me back.
And then we'll do it properly.
Where did you learn the difference? Was it your dad that taught you this?
Yeah.
This was passed on?
Right. So back when I started a good, 25 or so years ago, I was in my mid-20s then, and then my dad got into this out of the blue sort of thing. He had a friend that was doing it. So at first I was a little skeptical, like, fuck driveway sealing. What the hell? Everybody thinks it's all this driveway sealing. That's shit, whatever. It's got a bad connotation. It's like, used car salesman or something. But anyways, and then I went and worked with him one day as, just a helper. And I was like, wow, okay, you're onto something here. This looks good. I saw the product after he did a driveway or two and it dried, and I go, wow, okay, so this is real. This is a real good job. This is serious stuff. It's not fooling around. So yeah, that's when I noticed, okay, this is the proper way. So fortunately, I was introduced to it from the get-go. Maybe if I only seen spray driveways, if my dad was a sprayer, then I wouldn't know any better, but I do know it better.
Yeah,
that's why we're just trying to, one driveway at a time. We're just trying to educate people on the differences between what we do and what else is out there.
How many driveways have you done, you think?
You know what? That's a damn good question. And I did some quick math. I've been doing it full time for 20 years now. Maybe just I'm in my 21st year full time, but I'm going to say 10,000 at least. So as they say, 10,000 hours, 10,000 anything, you'll get good eventually.
You'll get good eventually.
I mean, 10,000, I'm definitely going to take your advice on what to do and what not to do instead of the spray guy.
Could be more. It's probably more.
Wow.
Do people ever do the research?
They do. Yeah. Google, internet. Yeah.
Because I found that, and I've had, like, even without having this conversation with you, I was always telling people, be careful what you put on. I didn't know it was the acrylic that was the problem.
But you've seen some bad product that led to some damage. So
I've seen driveways crack.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of my friends did the same thing. He got acrylic, and
Did you say, hey, man?
Well, I didn't know. I just said, hey, man. I came to his house after he did it, and I said, dude, what did you put on there? And I didn't know it was the acrylic. I thought it was oil. I just thought like one was a latex and one
Sure.
was an oil, and I knew that the latex was breathable and that was good.
Yeah.
And I assumed, which made an ass out of me, that the oil was worse. But they're all oil products. It's the acrylic I have to be careful. He used that, and I swear, within 6 months, his driveway turned to shit.
Wow. Yeah, he probably was.
Now you know why.
Yeah.
Because you spoke to an ass man.
And it's funny because now you've given me a disease.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be driving by, and
yeah.
every time I see a shiny driveway, I'm
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
be like,
Culprit. I know.
taken.
Taken, right?
Not Liam Nielsen taken.
Never again. That's what they say. Never again.
Is that what they say?
Yeah, a lot of
And
them
then they
tell
always
me
call
that.
you,
And they call me.
and they'll call you every 2-3 years
Yeah.
to take care of it.
Yeah. Or seal their own too. Never again.
Okay.
How
so-
is
too
how is
hard.
business for you during the COVID days?
Oh, that's amazing. When COVID started here about 3 months back, just when I was getting to start the summer season off, maybe at the end of April there, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to, so I called the hotline, and I talked to a guy there, and he says, "What do you do?" "Oh, seal driveways." Well, he probably doesn't have that on the first page. So he's flipping through his book. He doesn't see much. He goes, "Well, what are you into, like landscaping or something?" I go, "Well, tactically, I guess I'm landscaping the driveway, making it look better. It's a home improvement." So he goes, "Yeah, you should be able to go to work." But here's the thing. I mean, when I'm tarring a driveway up, sealing it up, nobody should be within 20, 30 feet of me anyways, because you're going to,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You can get pretty dirty if you don't know what you're doing, or, you're too close to it.
So it's perfectly fine for you. So
for as far as
business,
social distancing, no problem.
business was good then.
And my sealer kills COVID, apparently.
Does it really?
No. If Trump can put out disclaimers, I'll put out one.
Oh, don't go down that road, man. Don't go there.
Are there? And I don't like getting into them, but I find them very important. What are the hazards to being in your industry?
Obviously, well, as far as working around hot asphalt, you can get a good burn. I mean, that stuff's, probably in the range of 600 degrees or so when it's coming out. So, yeah, I don't want to be touching that. As far as sealing, the hazards are not keeping it on the driveway, tripping over buckets, those are just accidents. Realistically, nothing should go too far bad.
Are you married?
I'm engaged.
Engaged.
Supposed to get married.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I was supposed to get married next month, but we had to postpone that.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah,
What I
people,
was leading
thank you.
to is when I was like 15, 16, I worked in a cookie factory. And Nabisco Christie's.
Wait a minute. You told me that we can't. You told me this not to tell anybody.
No.
And now you're telling
I was
them?
telling you about a product I didn't want to talk about, but you're like putting the cat out of the bag. Anyways, let's just forget about
There's
that.
a
for a
product that
second.
you should never eat ever again.
No,
because I'm pretty
you
sure
can.
you've eaten.
You can.
No.
There's just-
no. And this show is brought to you by
Listen,
Nabisco.
if you drink tap water,
Nestle,
if
Nestle
you
or
drink,
Nabisco, what's it brought by? Who's
if you drink
sponsoring
tap water, you're drinking fluoride, and people think,
Right.
"Well, I brush my teeth with fluoride." It's a totally different fluoride, and we don't need that fluoride.
Okay, can you get back to the
Anyways,
cookie? What was the
so,
cookie?
So I worked in a cookie factory, and one thing I never knew is one of my girlfriends would always say, "I love when you come back from work. You smell so good."
Oh, yeah.
So, does the wife love the smell of tar?
I'm probably not getting that same love. She's probably like,
No?
shower's available. You should go hit it.
No.
Do you have to
I
clean up-
I did a print ad for Asphalt Cologne.
Yeah, I saw that.
I did one for sawdust, for concrete, for
Nice.
asphalt. That's why I
Yeah.
told you guys I love the smell of asphalt, man.
That's funny. So I got a couple of roofers, buddy. They do hot and cold process like Mark does at Skylux. Big shout out to our boy here at Skylux
Yeah,
for always
thanks for having us.
taking care of us and giving us a place to have
Giving a
the
home
Construction
to the
Life podcast
Skylux
live.
Studios to record our podcast.
And these guys are getting filthy dirty. So one of my friends says he cleans himself with diesel or WD-40. Is that something
that's something you do clean yourself with in the asphalt business? A lot of times when we're doing, say, tamping or rolling, you put some diesel on it.
Yeah.
On
So it
the
doesn't
roller,
stick.
so it doesn't stick. Absolutely.
Wow. And
Yeah.
that smell
But-
does not go away, man.
Your general, what I found is like your basic lanolin white, what do you call it, hand cream that you get at your Canadian Tires or whatever, a little tub of that. It's not bad. It cleans off the tar pretty quickly.
You got
too.
this stuff, Manny, in the back of your car, a whole bunch of tubs.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's talking about. you're talking about the orangey.
Not the orange pumice one. That stuff rips your hand apart. Just the basic white one. It's like
That'll clean it.
That'll clean it off. Yeah.
That's cool though.
Yeah.
How do you clean your tools? You're using diesel.
I use diesel. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it's also about-
when we're doing, on the tamper or on the rake, asphalt rake, rough rake, whatever, you put some little squirt of diesel on it, wipes them on.
Yeah.
So it doesn't stick.
We always soaked our equipment in diesel before we used
Absolutely.
it. Another thing I want to ask you, and it's more the comedy end of it.
Comedy.
You must have seen some pretty crazy stuff like cats or
Oh,
dogs run across or a
jeez,
kid
man.
walk.
Oh, yeah.
What are the
Seriously?
funniest
They
things
do
you've
that?
ever seen?
Okay, the weirdest thing, because, after you seal the driveway, you look up, something might run across it, whether it be in, the 3-year-old kid in the house or their dog, pet, or a squirrel or anything. But the funniest thing we ever seen, me and this guy, Jay, that used to work for me a long time ago, we were sealed the driveway, and then we seen something out of the corner of our eye, and we look, and Jay says, look up, look what's on the driveway. So I'm like, oh no, what do we got now? Another squirrel, whatever, rabbit. I look up, I see a cat, but it's got 2 tails. Not one, 2. Yeah.
2 tails.
A 2-tailed cat. So yeah, that's kind of
That's
unusual.
weird.
That was weird.
Wow.
That's a weird looking pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 asses though.
Yeah.
Asphalt man.
Asphalt, cracks.
Asphalt man.
So yeah.
I hope that's not taken. Actually, Asphalt man.
Maybe.
You think it's taken? No, it's not taken.
I don't know.
No, you took over your dad's business. It was Ing, right?
It's Ings, yeah. It's our God-given last name, so we just stuck with it. So that's what I tell my, customers too. It's not like I'm going to change my name to Jones or Smith tomorrow because it's Ing.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried to make Ing synonymous with the best in the business. Like
Well-
maybe some people think Ferrari or Mercedes is. That's it.
Well, it's you said something really important there. A lot of people talk about businesses being open for 35 or 40 years, and those are companies that never hid from anything or left anyone hanging, so they didn't have to change your name 4
That's
or
right.
5 times.
Oh yeah. There's
you don't-
companies out there. There's a spray company out there. They've changed their name 2 or 3 times already.
Wow. So they just know it. They left a bad reputation.
That's it.
Change the name and start up again.
They have to. They can't show their faces.
Are they
anymore.
spraying over the company's logos on the machines or what? Like,
But that doesn't last long either. So yeah.
So, I'm a homeowner. What's the most important thing I should be asking before someone starts?
Are you going to get any on my sidewalk?
Yeah. Do you spray? What's the number one?
That's going to be the most important.
Just stay away
Probably.
from sprayers.
You probably should.
Asphalt sprayers.
Correct.
Other kinds of sprayers, that's a different story.
And
Right.
if anyone, and then is there like something that I can get in written that's saying you're not going to use acrylic?
Oh well.
I'm going to be using you from now on.
Sure.
But
Then-
I'm just saying for the listeners that are listening and the contractors listening right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Stay away from your sprayers and your acrylic if you're doing it yourself. That's
Really
the
good
bottom line.
point. And why isn't anyone talking about this? Like if this
A lot
is
of people don't know.
if this is an ongoing problem, and I see this all the time, and I've
But
heard
you're
about
educating homeowners when you're in the neighborhood,
That's correct.
right? Because they're coming by, and I'm sure that someone else came before you or after you, and they're offering $200 versus the $225. So they're coming up to you going, "Well, listen, sir, I'm sorry, but you're $25 more expensive than the sprayer. So why should I go with you?"
Yeah, a lot of people, they count their pennies. They're trying to save a penny, but
so-
it's going to cost them $5 at the end of the day.
Later on, though, it's gonna 6 months. Next year, they're gonna have to do it again. Call you
So you're
again.
paying, they're
No,
paying
but
double.
did you hear him? Like, guys are charging. He's $25 more than sprayers, 2 to 3 years more. You're
That's right.
doubling. Like it's a simple
It's a
math,
no-brainer,
man.
Yeah,
I listen all the time, man. That's what I just brought up.
that's why you got to listen to the construction podcast.
I'm recording here and balancing everything.
So why do you think guys have chosen to go sprayers?
It's easier.
Cheaper, faster,
Cheaper.
volume.
The way I do it's very labor intensive. Obviously, you have to have certain
So how
amount of
long does it
skills.
take you to do a double car drive then?
It'll take me personally. I can do it in about. I tell everybody the same. It's going to take me 40 minutes to an hour.
An hour.
Yeah.
Just you by yourself or you and a couple
Oh,
of
with
guys?
a helper.
Okay.
you
And
guys-
then it takes the sprayer how long?
You probably do it in 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
It's a volumes game, dude. It's money grab. It's bullshit. That's what it is. Totally. He comes in, knocks on as many doors as possible.
Okay,
Right.
but
10, 10, 10, 10, 10.
you're talking about once you start putting the product on.
Right.
We're not talking about prepping the
No,
area.
prep is always double. Like,
So-
frick, everybody knows that.
Oh, you
We're-
gotta spend your
we're
time
talking
and
about
effort.
a power washer, possibly.
No, you're gonna wash
we don't
it?
we don't necessarily power wash them because the problem is I find that if let's say the driveway is really dirty, muddy or whatever, and you introduce more water to it, it's just going to be mud. Now you got to wait for it to dry before you can seal it anyways, and you got mud all over. So what I found is if you scrub it off with,
Dove?
with
That's for the Exxon, man. What's wrong with you?
with stiff bristle brooms or wire brushes, and then use a high velocity backpack leaf blower, you can blow the dust off easier. And the other thing is too, is you start wetting down driveways, you get away from the dry, and people are like, well, wait a minute, yours is a latex product, don't you water it down? It's like, no, you can't water it down, or it's going to be too thin. It won't even achieve what it's supposed to do.
I saw the coolest thing from Skylux from Jordan. He was we had a little bit of rain, so there was a little bit of puddling going on the flat roof there, and so he pulls out the backpack leaf blower.
Yeah,
starts blowing all the water, air dry. Smart, man.
Yeah,
I was like, that's
handy
smart.
tool.
I actually saw one of the tile guys on Instagram just do that. His old patio was soaking wet, his seats and his coffee table. He blew it all off, then put his pizza and his pop there. It also moves snow, by the way, too.
It does. Hey, don't laugh. Yeah, it does.
Really? It does,
To a certain degree,
huh?
as long as it's pretty dry and flaky, wet snow per se if it's heavy. But yeah, it does.
So everyone's gonna be out there going, that's
except your neighbors are going to be
Yeah,
going,
they're not going to like that.
So what do we do about oil stains,
Okay, oil
gasoline?
stains. That's a great question. Gas, that's why we want to seal the driveways too. I mean, you want to protect your investment. So if you have it sealed prior to, leaking something on it, it's going to be protected to a certain degree. Obviously, you pour gallons of gas or oil on it, tranny fluid. No, it's not going to do that much for it. But, just generally speaking. So that's why you want to seal them too.
And what do you guys like?
Oh, sorry, oil spots. So yeah, if it's, let's say the driveway's got maybe a oil stain, maybe 2 feet by 1 foot or something like that, we have to put an oil spot primer down.
Okay.
To allow the sealer to adhere, because nothing sticks to oil, and that's why it's a lubricant.
So I guess it breaks it down, separates it, and then
What it does is encapsulate it. Nothing's going to get that oil out of the asphalt. So asphalt now, you got a bunch of oil and it's gone in there like bare wood, and it's soaked right in, quarter of an inch down, whatever, half inch into it. Nothing's going to get it out of there short of cutting it out, but you're not going to start.
Well, there is one product.
What's
Called,
that?
it's called Micro 50.
Okay.
So I had a backhoe and I had it parked at someone's yard. I was doing some work on it because I wanted to do some work on the city. I had a hydraulic leak.
Yeah.
And the guy that owned the building said, "You got hydraulic fluid all over my asphalt, and it's going to start eating the asphalt."
Yeah.
So it's going to cost you $25,000 to redo this. So I made a couple calls, got this product called Micro 50. I put it into it, and I swear, when the guy came back, the whole driveway was cleaner than when I parked there the first time.
Nice.
So what it does is
It
it takes the oil. Oil is in 4 parts.
Okay.
And I learned that through this.
Yeah.
It was a scary event for me because what I thought was saving me money could have turned around and cost me $25,000. It would have been cheaper to buy a secondhand backhoe instead of fixing the one I had. It ended up only costing me $2,000 my labor. Hoses. I had to buy a power washer. I had to buy the jug of the stuff. I mean, it saved my life pretty much.
Yeah.
So
Save you a few bucks.
yeah.
there,
So I'm
for
just
sure.
saying, if you're ever interested, check out the Micro 50 product.
Have you used it, Leo?
No, I haven't. Yeah, I haven't used stuff like that before.
And also, Dove cleans ducks.
And on that note, so we've been speaking a lot about asphalt and asphalt. With Leo Ing from www.ingservices.net. Sales at ingservices.net. 416-892-4526. Thank you very much, sir, for joining the podcast, being a part of it, and being our one and only asphalt.
I was waiting for this for a long time.
He was talking a lot about it. Once I told him that you were coming, he was all excited about it, man. So it was good. It was good. We
Yeah, I
covered
don't like the
everything.
way you phrased that just now, but
I don't know.
Thanks for having me on. I just want to say one thing. A lot of people, they were talking about leaks just recently there. So let's say you leak a little bit on there. So, most homeowners, if you don't get that Micro 50 or whatever, what do you have around the house? So a lot of people have kitty litter, if you have an animal per se, or you have dry dirt in your flower bed, or you have some screening somewhere.
Sawdust.
Screening's really good, or sawdust obviously is very good, but screening is very good because limestone,
Soak it up.
it really bites into it.
Yeah.
So if you have a problem with that at home, whatever, what you want to do is soak it up as best you can right away. Obviously, it's a huge spill, get a rag, but if it's beyond that, now it's into the driveway, you want to put something on it to try to mop it up. Yeah, it's my best.
Good to know. We've got our last segment here.
The 10.
Sorry, I've changed it. It's the 12 questions.
There was no fucking meeting, dude.
It's the 12 questions,
okay.
man. 12 questions.
Let me change that now.
Go intro now.
The 12 questions.
I'm going to insert question number right
Why are
now.
you saying all these key words?
I'm just saying. I'm curious. So, Leo, here's your
Yes,
12
sir.
questions, right?
All right.
This is your first question. What is your favorite construction word?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh, I got one.
What's that?
Tri-square.
Tri-square.
Yeah.
Is that the product?
No.
No.
Tri-square.
Tri-square. We'll have to look it up.
Tri-square.
What is your least favorite construction word?
Oh, that's a good question.
Wait a minute. What the fuck is a tri-square?
Yeah, please.
You don't know what a fucking tri-square is?
What is
It's
a
like
tri-square?
I don't know. It's like a fucking architectural things for measurements. I don't know. It's just like looks like a T.
Oh, it is. It's right. Okay, now we know. We're learning a lot on this podcast. Eh? What is your least favorite construction word?
My least favorite construction word. Oops. Never hearing that word is any good. On any job site anywhere. Like, I don't know what to say about that.
Okay, what turns you on in construction?
I love the sound
I like to get, I like to get my hands dirty.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I'm a
that's
working
true.
man.
That's true.
Yeah, and women appreciate the working guys for sure.
What turns you off?
Got good hands, strong hands.
What turns you off in construction?
Yeah, man, I don't know. I kind of enjoy it. I
Nothing
can say
turns
the
you on?
elements, the weather, the
weather.
bad weather, the
Got
too
it.
hot, too cold,
Interesting.
too wet, rain, whatever.
What
Depends
is
on
your
you're doing.
favorite curse word in a phrase?
It's always fuck.
The go-to?
What the fuck?
Okay, what is your favorite car or truck or bike?
Cars. I've always had success with Mazdas. I don't drive one currently, but as far as trucks, GM's been good to me.
What is your least favorite car, truck, or bike?
Anything by Chrysler. Garbage.
Do they
junk.
still call it Chrysler
I
or
don't
is
know.
it
I'm
called
old school
Dodge?
Dodge.
When I
Chrysler,
think
whatever.
Chrysler, I go back to the old days and I hear the New Yorker.
I know,
Oh, yeah,
right?
those are cool.
With Corinthian leather?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
That's a square box.
What construction sound or noise do you love?
That's a good one there.
Police siren?
Yeah.
That's not a good one.
No, I don't know. That's a good question.
The sound of a sprayer?
No, that's my least favorite. I don't know. I kind of like, the high RPM tools like drills and, skill saws, stuff like that.
Nice. What construction sound or noise do you hate?
Yeah. That's a good question, too.
sound effects.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question. I can't think of one off the top of my head there.
Nothing?
I'll have to pass on
Just
that.
something. You got to give us something.
Something.
Oh, okay. That I hate? I don't know. It's like generators, gas generators running.
Yeah,
all
they
day.
are loud, huh?
They're loud.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Yeah, if I got into another trade.
Doesn't have to be another trade.
oh,
It
okay.
could be anything.
Sorry, rephrase that. Say that
What
again.
profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Would I like to attempt maybe a fireman?
Wow.
Yeah. That's because I would have had a lot of time on the side to do all this sealing. So it would have been my second job.
Unless you're a
Being
buffalo.
the fireman, that was. No.
Yeah, if you're a buffalo, that'd be a different
Yeah.
story. What profession would you not like to do?
I don't think I'd like to sand drywall.
No, you don't like
Oh,
sand
you
drywall?
seen those guys come out of the frickin' after mudding and sanding? All you can see is the whites of their eyes.
Yeah.
Well, depends on what part of the world they come from, but yeah.
Last question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Tee off on hole number 1, please. That's an easy one.
Leo, thank you very much, man. Thank you. It was so nice to see you again.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for being on the show. And Carlito, get us out of here. You can find Leo online, ingservices.net, sales at ingservices.net, and 416-892-4526. Thank you very much, sir, for educating us and letting us know what is the right, wrong, the bad, the good, the ugly about asphalt and asphalt. Asphalt and asphalt. Get us out of here, Carlito.
416-TO, baby. Asphalt.
Nice.